Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? I don't think I've done a reading for you before, so I kind of like to explain real quick kind of how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. I try to describe the picture the best I can. There is always a reason for whatever they show or say. You never waste a message. So if it doesn't make any sense now, just keep it in mind. You'll either remember it later, see it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later and go, oh, I know what he's talking about. This is not exact science. We communicate the best way we can. Sometimes you'll have to stretch it outside the box a little bit. They won't give me all the details because the details are none of my business. But it's his show, and I let him do whatever he thinks he needs to do or say. So we did start out with, he wanted me to pull a card, and these are my what we call release cards, something you need to release. And I shuffle until he tells me to stop. So he's picking the card that he wants for you. So this is a good one. Surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. He wants you to realize you are perfect the way you are. Surrender to the magic of who you are. You're you're perfect, just the way you are. Surrender to your own magic. I don't explain that one any better. He's coming in and he's standing kind of behind me and he's looking right over my shoulder and he's looking right at you. I think he's kind of mesmerized himself that we can do this. I've had him come in before and go, you can see me? Yes, I can see you. So this camera really isn't good enough to pick it up when we do paranormal investigating. We use our camera a lot because it picks up things that our naked eye can't pick up. So you could see something a little wavy in here, but usually this camera doesn't pick it up. I'm seeing spots on here, but I don't think they're going to show like up here, like orb type things. He says, I'm this close to you. And he's literally got his head right here, like leaning over looking. You have felt him. You just didn't know what it was. Everybody feels the energy different. You're not going to feel him like I feel him. You could feel, and it'd be probably on just one side, like a warmth. He's on my left shoulder. They usually come in on my right. Usually Bob's up, mine is over here on this side. But he's taking that spot. Anyway, you could feel a warmth. You could feel something that just feels like a balloon kind of pushing on you, a little pressure. You could feel a tingling on one side. When Bob comes in close, my ear turns red and burns like fire because his energy is so strong. He's trying to let you know that he's there. It doesn't have to be on the left side. It can be on your right side, but this is the way he's showing it. I want you to know how proud I am of you. You are an amazing child, and yes, you are still my child. Something about eating spaghetti. So I don't know if he liked to cook you spaghetti a lot. It was his favorite food. You just had spaghetti. It's your favorite food. Something about spaghetti. And he's showing a big pot of just regular spaghetti. He'll validate himself 2 or 3 times, hopefully. I ask them to. We don't make the whole reading about validating because that's just a medium patting himself on the back when they do that. This is about getting his message across. just keeps saying the word Harry, but he's spelling it H-A-I-R-Y. Now, we stink at names, so if it's somebody's name, Harry, that's something you might have to stretch outside the box. Something Harry. Maybe your dog's Harry. Maybe he dropped a lot of hair. Something about Harry. He just keeps saying Harry, 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 but he's spelling it that way. And then he says, Harry was a little lamb. He's not explaining why he's saying this. It's up to him. It's his show. I think he's trying real hard to validate himself. He says cornbread and stuffing. He didn't say cornbread stuffing. He said cornbread and stuffing. Not sure how these foods. He says, I liked food. Maybe you guys made cornbread stuffing for Thanksgiving. Maybe that was his favorite thing at Thanksgiving or Christmas or whenever. He's slapping his knee and laughing. I mean, literally slapping his knee. He said he's trying to fluster me. Why does he want to fluster me? Was he kind of a ornery critter there? He said he's messing with me. And we got to get this reading done, buddy. Be nice. Okay, he's going like this he's got a steering wheel in his hands and he's going like this. And it's like you're driving down the road and you jerk your head because you think you see him. It works that way. It seriously works that way. That's his way of letting you know he's there. So, like my Bob, I can be driving down the road and there'll be a song on the radio. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is really from Bob. And there'll be a truck just like he used to drive sitting at the stop sign when I go by. Or I'll see somebody that looks exactly like him, the back of their head, driving in front of me. It's that easy. People just poo-poo it. Oh, he's really throwing some boomerangs at me. Orange Red River. Orange Red River. He's not explaining. He's saying, Merry Christmas to me. So did you do something at Christmas? Did you take a flower to his grave? Did you put out a special ornament that is in honor of him? Or put a flower by an ornament or Christmas something by his picture in honor of him? Something about Merry Christmas to me, to himself. And he's smiling very big. I think you know that I loved you. And I still do. I would like to wrap my arms around you, but I'm afraid it would scare you. Now, I have seen them like stand off in the corner of somebody's living room and like, I don't think I should come forward because I think it would scare them. They would think their house was haunted. Or I go to cleanse people's houses and I go in and they go, we've got a demon in here. I go, no, it's grandma, just trying to get your attention. So invite him in. Sometimes they need to know that it's okay for them to stop in. They don't want to scare you and they don't want to bother you, but they still want to be there. But that's your free will choice to invite him in. Because he's a little bit standoffish about it. Okay, so I thought I shut my camera in the house off, but it started going off and says, there's motion in my living room. Anything that happens to me during a reading is meant for you. So there is motion in your living room. He does go through your living room. You might see him out of the corner of your eye. I call it peripheral, in your peripheral vision. You might think you see somebody walking by or walking down the hall, and you turn your head and there's nothing there. And I include this in the peripheral vision. I can be working at my desk and I can see them walk by, you know. And they do it to me too. I can see them, but they still do it to me when I turn my head. There's nothing there. But it is them. Just trust it. Just trust that he's playing with a clock on your wall. So if you have a clock on the wall and it starts acting funny, they love, especially this one looks manual, doesn't look electronic, but he's just showing a clock that he's messing with. Can be either one, can be exact. It's like he's moving the hands. It's like he's moving the hands. So if you have a clock and it kind of does funny things, it's something easy for them to do. If you ask them to move a boulder out of your living room, that's probably not going to happen. He's talking about checkers. Maybe you guys used to play checkers together. And one or both of you cheated all the time. Did you used to stomp your feet and cry when you lost? He's laughing hysterically. He says, I'm closer than you think. I'm closer than you think. And honestly, I promise you 1,000%, he can hear you, he can see you. Talk to him all you want to. They're not really up there, they're really right here. Something about your heart. Oh, come on, you got to be more clear than that. Something about somebody you love very much. He says, I know about her. I know about her. And whoever the her is that pops, the first her that pops in your head, that's who he's talking about. He said he wants to thank you for taking such good care of your mom, for going the extra steps sometimes, even when you're busy. That he's very proud of the young man that he has raised. He's going, peace. Very proud of the young man that he raised. He says, you make my heart swell this much with pride. He starts laughing. He says, thank God you didn't take after me too much. Not too much. A little, but not too much. That wouldn't be a good thing. And he's being funny about it. I'm always amazed by the things that they show me. He's got a tutu on. He's standing behind me. He's got his hands up like this, like a little ballerina. And he's slowly turning in a circle. That's great. So, do you have a daughter that has done ballet? Or you have somebody close to you who has a female doing ballet? I love my job. He's just not explaining shit very well. I'm always amazed when people tell me later, oh, you know why they did that? No. So I had to pause this and I had to go down the hall for a second and come back. And he's like right on my back. You know how you can be sitting in a room and you don't hear somebody come in, you don't know they walk in the room, but you feel them, you know somebody's there, and you turn around and go, I didn't hear you coming, you scared me. It's the same feeling. It's like you feel like somebody's watching you. Um, you just feel their energy. You feel the presence of them. So he's showing me that's the way you should feel it if you open up to it. You should just feel like he's standing right behind you, and it's just a little difference in the kind of like a difference in the air pressure or something. I can feel him kind of pushing on my back, and it's something you probably wouldn't notice if you weren't kind of alerted to it. You wouldn't think anything of it. You just feel like there's somebody there. You feel a little difference, and he's showing it right in the middle, all the way up my back. Whenever he does something like that, instead of doubting it, what does it hurt to trust it? Invalidate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, ask him to come forward, acknowledge his presence. And it's like it opens a floodgate, and then you'll get a whole bunch more stuff. If you want it, that's totally up to you. He says, I'm always there. Talk to me all you want to. What was he good at? What was he good at? I always say, if Uncle Joe didn't have a pot to piss in, don't ask Uncle Joe for some financial help down here, because he didn't understand how it worked down here. So whatever you would go to him for when he was here, you can go to him for that now. And they cannot override your free will choice. But if you ask them for help with it, and then you open yourself up and you go, okay, I'll accept whatever you bring forward, you'd be surprised. Somebody will call you. Let's say you're looking for a job. You say, hey, Dad, can you help me get this really good job over here? And it may not be that one, because there may be a better one over here. Somebody calls you up and they go, hey, we got an opening over here. Want to come try it out? It seriously works that way. But then you have to be open for whatever they bring you. He says, I'm ready, willing to help. I'm asking him, I keep asking him for signs, that he's there, but I guess he's given me some of these other things. Ask him to bring you signs. Just flat out ask him. Don't say, you have to do this, you have to knock 3 times. Don't do it like that. Just ask him to bring you some signs if that's what you want. So I'm thinking maybe he thinks that you're not going to trust them or something. That those are signs from him. He's getting ready to leave. He's prancing. He's kind of prancing, almost like a ballerina again, but he doesn't look like a ballerina this time. And he's just kind of, and he's got like what kind of petals? Flower petals, and he's just tossing them up in the air, and he's kind of springing along with it, kind of as he leaves. So you're going to find random flower petals. It doesn't count if you walk by like a rose. He's not saying roses, though. It doesn't have to be a rose. Let's say you walk into Walmart and there's a flower petal on the floor in the middle of nowhere. That it seriously works that way. I got out of my truck one day in a parking lot, and when I opened the door and I looked down, this was there. It broke off of somebody's purse or something, who knows. But I knew exactly who it was, why it was there. Or of course, everybody knows about feathers and coins and stuff. I got coins the other day, which I never get coins. Now I want $100 bills, heck with the coins. At one time I walked out of a place, I had a drink in my hand, and no trees, no birds around. And I went to get my truck, and I sat in the cup holder, and I looked in it, and there was a little tiny white feather in my drink. Where'd that come from? I had it in front of me, so I would have seen the feather fall in it. Where'd that come from? Or I'll find random things on my dash, leaves, feathers, whatever. My truck's locked. They weren't there when I left. They're that simple. So when you find random coins, and they'll just be like these. He's wanting me to explain this. Like these two nickels were laying smack dab in the middle of the place I go to, in the middle of the floor, and I went, okay, somebody dropped their change, big deal. And I started to throw them up on the bar, and I thought, no, I need to look at them. So I went in the bathroom and I looked at the dates on the coins, and one of them has the year that my Bob died. So I knew they were from him. And I mean, I thought somebody glued them. You know, people glue a coin to the floor and they laugh when they watch people go over there and try to pick it up. That's what I thought. I thought somebody's playing a prank on me. So he wants me explaining it to you. His signs are going to be that simple that you'll just poo-poo it and go, yeah, you won't think anything of it. But now just think about it when you find something in a weird, different place, and especially coins. Always look at the date. It could be your birthday, or birth year. You know, it could be his birth year, anything like that. But that one had the date that my Bob died, the year that he died. Not a coincidence, especially not in that place that I was in, because we hung out there all the time. Anyway, he's leaving as he's throwing his flower petals. He's a cutie. Much love to you. Thank you for allowing me to be his voice. Like, subscribe, share my YouTube channel. And something algorithms kind of slowed down lately, so it helps that people kind of help the energy spiff it back up. I think YouTube does funny things to our stuff. Much love to you, Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. I don't know what he's doing. He's blowing kisses and just dancing up there. He's in a good old mood. I bet he was a lot of fun, as he sure is right now. Much love to you, my dear.